Found everywhere you can listen to podcasts. It's Caffeinated and Confused with Hannah.
That's a very confusing time for any young lady.
Maybe when you and I are both working long days, we just have cat play dates.
We have a cat meet. I know. I would love to see what Chris would do. I feel like he'd be okay, but I don't know.
Just two cat moms. Cat mom life.
Yep.
We got to give the good old intro. So welcome, Kaitlin, to the pod.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. It's my first podcast.
I'm so excited. And we have wine. We have a pizza in the oven. Mm-hmm. We're just really setting up for just some prime podcasting right here.
We are.
Okay, so I always do a really bad job at like introing my guests because I always just want to start talking right away. So Kaitlin and I met 2 years ago?
Probably 2 years ago, yeah, because we did 2 Walk to End Alzheimer's together.
Yes, so which, by the way, I have to talk to you about.
Yeah, we do.
This year. Yeah, I have ideas.
Oh, good. We need something to spice it up, I think.
We do. And I have good ideas.
Okay.
But yes, so Kaitlin works for Channel 5. You see her on your televisions every day. You do evening news now, right?
4 p.m. Yep. So I have the 4 to 5 as my hour of show.
Is it so much better than waking up?
It's so nice. Yeah. I mean, I did like getting done at noon, but I don't think as an anchor, I don't think I'll ever have a 9 to 5 ever again.
Yeah.
Which is like very rare. It's either mornings or evenings. So the 9 to 5 is very nice. And like my show's at the end of the day, so I can go into work in sweatpants and a sweatshirt and no makeup and not have to worry about any of that till like 3.
That's so nice.
It's very nice.
You go in at 9 a.m.?
Yeah. So I leave. So where I do our show is in Little Chute. So I leave at 9, get there at like 9:25, 9:30.
Wait, you do your show in Little Chute?
Yeah.
You're not at the place?
No, so they moved it. So they wanted to expand to the Fox Valley before I got promoted to the 4, and then it moved there, and so that's where I go now. They made like a little studio.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. Wow. I'm learning something along with the listeners. I just assume you guys were right on Mason.
East Mason, yeah. So that's where I've been for like most of it, and then the show moved there, so now I go there.
Oh, all
It's kind of nice. You get your own little space, and it's quiet. I mean, there's people that work there, but we have our own little like nest there.
Do you still like go on location and do stuff like that, or are you primarily just in the studio?
Yes, so I do. So I was doing Hometown Hero, which is a veteran franchise that we have, and now I'm doing Health Watch for all your health needs.
Wow, girl.
So it gives me something to be paranoid about that I have every week.
Yeah, so you go to like different places that will help with that?
So I'll go to, it's sponsored by Aurora Bay Care, so I go there pretty much like once a week, do a story with a patient and a provider. And then if we have like special events, I'll go and do that.
Wow, okay. I'm learning so much. So yeah, Kaitlin and I met because she works for Channel 5. I work for I-100, obviously. And the two of us hosted the Walk to End Alzheimer's and just hit it off. I was like, oh my God, there's a young girl who works in media. Like I need to latch on because it's all men in our industry pretty much. So it's really nice to meet other people who, because we have like such weird jobs that people just don't get.
Yeah, people don't get it at all.
Yeah. So it's just nice to have someone else who, you know, and then of course, classic small town Green Bay. Turns out we know a lot of the same people and go to a lot of the same places. And now here we are podcasting on my couch with wine and pizza. It's a full circle moment.
It is.
I love it. We have to do our pit and our peak. But I feel like we've had so many side conversations before we start recording.
We have.
And I need to take a mental note of all of the things that we discussed.
To make sure we bring them up.
We bring them up. Because I feel like there's a lot of gold in there.
There was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of good stuff.
Okay, so do you want me to go first or do you want to go first with the pit and peak?
You can go first. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're hosting?
I am. I'm a good old host. Leo and I are hosting. Okay, so my pit and my peak are one and the same. My pit is that I re-downloaded Bumble today. I had a moment of weakness.
That's a pit.
It's a huge pit. I had a moment of weakness where I was just kind of like, you know what? I haven't been on the apps in like 6 months. Maybe there's new eligible people in the city of Green Bay. I said I was going to take a couple months to not even talk to a man, and I have, and it's been great. But I'm like, oh, maybe I'm like ready to dabble. No.
At the same time, dabble.
No, I'm not dabble. I do not want to dabble at all, which brings me to my peak, which is that I realized I no longer need to dabble. It's just my peace, my inner peace without dealing with these dumb men has just been so nice. So it's kind of a peak that I folded and I re-downloaded the app and I realized, wow, I don't want to be here.
That
anymore.
is a peak. It's like a learning moment all wrapped into one.
Yeah. And it's just, I'll see I like log back on and I see so many of the same men that I've seen there for years.
Yeah.
I also, within the first 5 minutes, swiped on 3 people I've hooked up with in the last.
So like we don't need to recycle.
Yeah.
No
I'm
recycling.
like, yep, nope, don't need to. And then I just laugh at, okay, this sounds really bad because I'm not a man hater. Like some might think I am, but doesn't it kind of give you the ick a little bit? Just like imagining a man making their profile.
Yes, that is the ick. Like I don't have the apps, but that is the ick. I'm like, let me think about like, especially someone you know, when you're like, oh, let me think about them going here and like typing this in and being like, I don't even know what the prompts are, but like,
oh my god, wait, I took
this
a
is
screenshot.
A major turn on.
Whoa.
Like so random that you're like, why?
I took a screenshot of one of the guys who I came across, who I've hooked up with a couple times in the last like handful of months. And granted, this man has like a rockin' bod, but this photo, I'm just like,
it's also bad quality though.
Yeah.
Like it's not a good quality photo.
Just,
I will say selfies are a huge turn off. Like if
oh my God.
Like I will swipe on my friends like for fun. And if a selfie or like anything like that comes up, I immediate no.
Out. I was literally thinking that today. Selfies, number
nice
one.
Body, though. He does have a good body.
He does have a good body. I know, it's unfortunate.
Wait, so let me ask, why did you re-download Bumble? What about Hinge?
So Hinge was really bad for my mental health because the people that they would tell me were my most compatible made me want to jump off 172.
Okay. Yeah.
Or because you can see the people that like you.
Is that just not some weird algorithm though? Or do they actually say like, oh, based on your like prompt answers or whatever, you'd be a good match?
I don't know. I think it's also just a way for them to force you to buy the premium.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because then they'll give you the good people.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you can see who likes you on Hinge, which is both good and bad. Yeah. But most of the time I'm like, in what world
it's no
would you think that I'm going to date you?
No.
Which sounds, that's not me being conceited at all.
No,
these people
agree,
are like,
I've seen it on my friends. We'll put it up on the TV.
Yeah.
Like Apple Play. And it's literally like what, I don't want to say the audacity, but the audacity. Like,
yes. It's crazy. So it just was, it's just like, I see that. It was a selfies where I was like immediate no.
Yeah.
I don't even really care about the fish picture because I get that that's what, like, I'm not turned off by that. But there was another one. It was a selfie and something else where I was just like, oh, mirror pictures.
Yeah.
No. All right, if any man is listening, which is probably like 1% of my podcast, because it's all women, I feel like the 1% of men.
Friends who are going to tune in, they said they're like, we're going to listen to this episode.
Yes! Oh my God, I can't wait. I feel like the only men who listen are men who I've dated and they're just scared. Exactly. For any man listening who's creating a dating app, I need to see a picture of you with friends. Mm-hmm. You do need to have at least one picture of you on your own, but like make a friend take it.
Yeah.
Doing something at like a brewery or or hiking or something like that. Like a picture of you doing a hobby, picture of you out being fun.
Yeah.
The men who literally their whole profile are all selfies. Goodbye.
No, nobody is ever going to swipe on that.
So
not anyone we know.
It was a short-lived return to Bumble. I think by tomorrow it's going to be gone.
So how many hours was it like downloaded and then deleted? Like 45 minutes?
I haven't deleted it yet.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of waiting to see if like the algorithm would algorithm.
Okay.
Because I think how Bumble works is when you're on there long enough, it'll show you the first couple people who pop up will be the people who have swiped right on you.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to wait to see.
So with Bumble, you can't see like Hinge.
No.
You can't. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I will give it until tomorrow at the same time.
We might have to airplay it tonight. And just
we might have to. Yeah, so it's just, dating apps are great. There's so many good stories of people meeting each other on there, but I just don't think that's where I'm going to meet my husband.
I don't think I will either. I don't have them, so that already negates it, but I don't.
Don't do it.
No, I'm not.
I'm proud of you. You've never had one.
No, I have, but like not, I mean, out here, I think I did for like a week, which was like 4 years ago. And then it was the same thing in Bozeman. It was like a week, and I didn't do them in college. I feel like the total amount I've had them has probably been like in my entire life, maybe like a month. I just want to meet my person
in real life. Mm-hmm. I just think that would be better. And like, I am at the point, because I'm 34 now, I just like would love to fall in love with someone I already know. I think
I heard about this on Valentine's Day. You guys asked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, would you? Yeah. I agree. I mean, I agree. I think it would be.
Don't you just think that would be
nice
easier
than having to go out there and like meet someone.
Yes.
I don't want to do that. An initial stage of getting to know, like, I hate that. Same. I hate small talk. Like, it's like, I don't know, it feels so, it just takes forever. I'm like, we can go get a drink or coffee or whatever, or like nothing.
Yeah. Or half the men, you just like don't know who they are, what they're about.
Yeah.
You'll have these guys who then will only communicate with you via Snapchat.
You know a ton of people here, so I feel like that makes it a lot harder. And I feel like I do now, but like, you know, a ton of people, it's even harder because there'll be a mutual, or like you'll actually know them when you see them on the app. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I just would love to fall in love with someone who already knows me. I already know them. We already know each other's friend. Like
Joey
Bachelor.
You watched your.
He did watch my. Oh my God, Kaitlin, I can't even tell you how much I love him.
That's technically, you know each other now.
I think he's playing it cool right now.
He's trying to play hard to get.
He has to wait for me to find out if he's engaged or not, and hopefully they're already broken up, and then he'll be like,
that's exactly it.
I gotta find that
That's the
Hannah
pathway.
Girl from Green Bay. Let's hope.
That is the pathway.
Let's hope so. So yeah, that is my pit and my peak. It's a whole one and the same this week.
It is.
Yep.
I guess my pit, which we talked about a little before. I went to the dentist this week, and I'd been putting it off for a little bit longer than I should have. And like, I will say, I'm a big baby when it comes to like any type of. The only thing, like, I've had stitches once in my life, and I was like 3, and it's the big scar on my eye. Like, I've never had a cavity. So why
are you scared?
Because I was afraid I'm going to have a cavity, or I'm going to need like a root, like something crazy.
Oh my God,
like,
you're a lunatic.
My mind was just jumping to like the most dramatic things. And so I went there and I was like, listen, like, there's a little sensitivity in some spots. Like, I don't know how bad it's going to be. Maybe like whatever. And they're like, okay, like, we'll look, like, relax. Yeah. And then I went, and it was a cleaning. I'm being dramatic. Like, I haven't gone in a little bit, so maybe, you know. And then, I went, and it was fine. I'm still in no cavity club, but that was my pit, because I was, like, anxious.
No cavity club.
The appointment had been canceled several times prior to this.
Oh my God, Kaitlin!
Because I kept getting nervous. I don't love teeth. Like, I just don't.
But literally, it's an hour where they just the only thing I don't like is when they floss. Oh my God.
So I had to do the x-rays and everything. So
I hate those x-rays.
You have to bite in like 20 different places. Yeah. So
I'm proud of you.
But it was fine. I was like, what? I have to do it. Like, get over it.
Yeah.
And I just did it.
You're an adult.
And then my peak, I would say, my flight home is booked for my 30th birthday. I'm going to Boston.
Oh, fun.
So I'm excited. Yeah. Big birthday. It's next month.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, that's so exciting. Why Boston?
Well, I'm from Massachusetts. My sister lives there, and a bunch of my friends live there. So, and I live there for a bit too. So I'm gonna go visit her, and I'll see my friends.
Are any of your friends from here gonna go?
No.
Okay, well, we have to do something here.
I know. Yeah, so we'll have to do something here. My sister she has a roommate, but they live in a very, very, like, it's probably as big as your whole entire, like, kitchen, living room. Whole, like, apartment is, like, a little bit bigger than this. And they live in a gray area, but, like, I wanted other people to come, and it's, like, it's a very small space, but, so it'll be tough to stay there for 4 days and get ready and do all that.
Yeah, but that's so fun, though.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, I don't really know any of the details because she's kind of planning it. She's more of the detail-oriented planner person, and I'm really not. Turning 30, it's a little scary, you know.
I was terrified to turn 30. I'm not going to lie, because I had a lot of fun in my 20s, and I was terrified. Everyone was always like, Hannah, your 30s are the best. I'm like, okay, everyone said that about the 20s too. You're going to love your 30s. You figure out who you are, who your people are. Like, you just stop dealing with the BS.
Yeah.
You I say more money. I'm still broke, but you are less struggling than you were in your 20s.
Yeah.
And it's just so, I've loved my 30s.
Yeah.
I've had so much fun.
I'm excited. I guess I've never been like, sometimes I'm like, oh, turning 30, like, whatever. But then I'm like, I've never been a person that's like, oh, I'm afraid to turn this age. Because it's like, I'm going to be the same way, in the moment that I always am, like, regardless. But yes, I think I'll learn more. I think, like, things, will just be different. But I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I had those same moments. I was terrified to turn 30. But you know what? It's also a blessing that we're still alive. We're getting older.
Exactly.
I'm going to be 35 in like 3 months.
Wait, so what's your exact birthday?
June 11th.
Okay. So I'm April 3rd. So we're like pretty close.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be halfway through my 30s.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Kaitlin, I need to figure my life out.
That's not bad. No.
I know,
No,
but like, if I want to pop out a kid at some point.
This is a crazy thing. Growing up on the East Coast, when I moved to first Montana before here, there's like a Midwest thing that people are like getting married at like 24, 25,
Ugh.
high school sweethearts, like all this stuff. Back home, I have one married friend and she just is pregnant now and she's going to be 32 this year. Like, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
how it should be. You should enjoy your 20s.
There's a couple that are like, well, I have one that's engaged now. I love all of them. We've been best friends since like middle school, high school. But like, that's the East Coast. Like, people aren't like, it's not the same kind of thing. I mean, of course there are exceptions, but like, it's not the same. Like, people just settle down a lot later in life. But out here, the pizza. I feel like it's a lot younger.
Got to pause for pizza. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Oh, the pizza. We have a hot honey story that I want to hear.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we'll end the conversation of me telling you your 30s are going to be.
Oh, yes.
So great.
I'm excited.
I can't wait to celebrate your birthday back here.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, we're cooking a pizza right now and Kaitlin texted me and she said, I'm getting us some hot honey because the podcast's going to be spicy. And I was like, oh my God, I love hot honey on pizza. And I have a funny story. And I don't think I've told this on the podcast yet.
Okay.
But it's a funny
excited.
date story. So the guy that I was seeing last summer, who's the guy who I talked to you about over 4th of July.
Okay.
And things ended like 4 days later.
Yep.
After that. And he, like, his thing is he was a country boy, which is fine. Mm-hmm. You know, you do you. But like, I'm always down to like, I'll do country stuff. I'll go sit in a dive bar. I'll like hang out in a yard.
I'll rope and ride.
I'll get dirty. But he was like never open to doing like my stuff, which I think we talked about over the 4th of July. Because he wouldn't come that day.
Yep,
whatever.
that was exactly what you said. You were like, he just, like, I'll invite him to things with, like, all of my friends, and he, like, won't. He'll have an excuse for why he can't come or whatever.
But then he would, anytime I would say that I wanted to do something, he would call it bougie. Because he's like, oh, you're from De Pere, like, you must be bougie. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Yes, I like to do fun stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not bougie. So this was probably, like, a month and a half into us going out, hanging out, dating, whatever. And because we would see each other like once or twice a week because he lived, I mean, it was like a 30-minute drive between here and where he lived. So we had plans to get together on this Friday and he told me like, oh, pick what you want to do. And so I was like, I think I had gone to his place last 2 times. So he was coming here. So I was like, okay. I was like, well, there's this brewery, Cocoon, like right down the street from my place.
Which is super nice and fun.
Yeah. And I was like, we can go grab a beer and pizza. And he loves honey. So anytime I would go to his house, he had this huge tub of honey.
His personality trait.
Big honey guy. And so I was like, oh my God, wait, they have pepperoni pizza there and they put hot honey on it. Like, it's so good. And he was like, honey on pizza? Like, what kind of bougie place are you taking me to or whatever? I'm like, that's not even bougie. I'm like, that's just a normal
taste. It's good taste.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's literally just a pepperoni pizza with hot honey. Like, there's nothing bougie or crazy about it. And so it was just like, so we went. Keep in mind, this day I had to work a golf outing that morning. So I got hammered.
Yeah, okay.
So drunk, and he had to pick me up from the golf course because I couldn't drive.
Okay.
So he picked me up and I was like going to come home and change or whatever. And I was like, screw it. Let's just go right to the brewery. Because at this point it was probably like 6 p.m. I had been drinking all day. What the hell was that? Wow. Sketch.
I'm not sure what that was.
Me either. So yeah, I'd been drinking all day, so he had to pick me up from the golf course, and I was like, oh, screw it, let's just go. And so I'm like in my hat, t-shirt, whatever, just probably looked like a slob kebab. And we order the pizza and the beer, and then we like eat the pizza, and he basically was just like, meh. I don't even, whatever.
You don't like it? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, if you don't like savory and sweet combined, red flag. It's good pizza.
It's good pizza.
So,
but yeah, he would always call anything I wanted to do as bougie. And I'm like, I'm literally just asking you to go to a brewery.
Right. Which I feel like is the least bougie. You could have been like, oh, let's go to this like fancy restaurant like Blue or Chad.
Yeah.
Or something. It's like, it's not that. It's a brewery.
And I will give it to him. Like, he would try everything. So like, he had never had a spicy margarita, and I love spicy margs. So like one night we went to get spicy spicy marg so he could try one. And like he drank the whole thing, didn't love it. And I give him props. And he said that too. He's like, Hannah, I'm trying like this stuff at least. I'm like,
that is one thing I feel like I need is like, you have to be open to trying things.
Yes.
Like I'll try anything.
Same.
Obviously I don't eat meat, but like I will try literally anything.
Same.
So.
And like I'm down for anything. I've told him that too. I'm like, let's just go to a dive bar one night. Like I'm good with any of that. Or like we would hang out and like cook at his house all the time. Whatever. Like he wasn't a bad guy. And I also, you know, when like also you're with someone and hooking up is just really good.
Yeah.
And then you like, what is it called? Dickmatized?
Yeah, you're dickmatized.
Yeah, I think I was a little dickmatized.
At least you can admit it now.
Yeah.
That's it.
I still think about it sometimes. I'm like, but
he wouldn't expect that for somebody who never had a spicy margarita.
No, I wouldn't expect it.
I would not expect that at all, but
no.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, that is my spicy hot honey.
The hot honey story.
Oh my God. And then we came back here and I was like, then I had a beer at the brewery and he kept telling me, he's like, I can't even tell you're drunk. I'm like, I'm trying so hard. Like I'm really drunk. And I had plans to come home from the brewery. Because it was a Friday, so like he was going to spend the night here. So I had like my sheets in the wash. Like I was going to come home and pick up
the bed. Oh no.
So then I'm like, we get back here and we're going to watch a movie. So we're like on the couch and I was like, oh my God, I have my sheets in the dryer. Like I got to go make my bed. And I'm in there and he's like, can I help you? And he was so nice about that. He always wanted to help, and I'm an independent bitch. Like,
No, I don't want it.
I'm like, no. Like, I'm fine. And then he came in there and had to just straight up make my bed because I was drunk.
I will say, like, making your bed, even if you're sober at the end of the day or if you're drunk, it is the worst.
The worst.
Like, you just want to get into bed.
Yeah. Like, I would rather just sleep on my mattress.
Like, I would literally just sleep on the mattress because I want to go to bed. That's
good times.
Funny. Hot honey.
Hot honey, man.
Should I check it? It smells like it's...
Should we? Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta put that hot honey on there.
Definitely smell like she's cooking. We broke. We were like, oh, we gotta go get the pizza.
And it was delicious.
Okay.
Come
back for it.
We're back from the hot honey pizza, which...
Amazing.
It was so good. I gotta go back for more
delicious.
After this.
Yeah. I'm gonna have more too.
It's done. I have to say, we were just talking while we were eating our pizza that you and I are both like cooking girlies.
Yeah. We love to cook.
And I love it. I think once you and I...
It's a hobby. It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's so... I love just putting like a podcast or music on.
Yeah.
And just cooking. And then feeling the satisfaction when it turns out good. You're like...
It's so good.
Wow, I am a chef.
Yep. I love that. Fun too to try like different things, different recipes, or like add whatever you want, you know, compared to the recipe. It's fun.
I think when you and I finally find worthy men that we need to have a double date like cooking night.
Yep, we should have a cook off. I always say that. I love to make it like a competition of like, we should do a cook-off.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, it'd be so fun.
Wait,
I
we
always
need
get
to
my friends
find...
I'm like, we need to do like a cook-off.
Wait, we have to find boyfriends so we can do this.
Yeah, we do.
And it would be a good test, like if they can hang.
Yeah.
And if they can't.
Then we could do like you and I make something, they make something.
Yes.
And then we see whose is better.
And then if they suck, then it's like Survivor and we just kick them off the island.
Somebody has to get voted off. I love that.
Oh my God, I'm so into it. Yeah, I just love, I was just telling you off the pod. I think I've talked about it on here that that's like a third date for me is having a guy come and cook with me. Because I also just feel like that's real life.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you got to make dinner.
Yeah.
Every night.
Exactly.
Or breakfast or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun to always like cook something up that like you're both going to eat and love. Have a glass of wine or whatever it is. And then sit down, eat your dinner, relax. Like it's so nice.
Make out after dinner. It's great.
A little make out, you know. Then
what a wholesome evening. Then dessert.
Then dessert.
2 desserts.
Right after. No, I love it. It is wholesome.
It is.
Very
it's
wholesome.
So wholesome. Okay, so we also have to talk about, speaking of dating, like the dating shows. So well, you just started watching this season of Love is Blind.
Yes.
And I did say I was going to do a tiny recap of after watching the finale. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you're not going to know who the people are. So I'll just say, so AD and Clay were the couple that went to the altar and he said no.
Okay.
Which I was telling you about.
Okay.
And I actually, so the whole season, his whole thing was that he was so scared he was going to cheat on her. And I'm like, what a wild thing to literally be scared about. Like if a man before
Why
you're
would you
even,
admit that?
yeah,
Also?
he literally the whole season, because his dad cheated on his mom, he just kept saying, I'm just so scared that I'm going to cheat on you if we get married. Like run, girl. But
yeah, please run.
It seemed like they were doing good, but then he said no at the altar, and I
Okay.
honestly can't fault him.
I gotta look them up just to see what they look like.
They're a good looking couple.
AD and Clay.
AD and Clay. I don't fault him because he basically said, like, I still want to fight for you. I still want to be with you, but, like, I just don't want to get married. And I can't fault him for that because how do you have an iPhone that only has one camera on it, Kaitlin?
My iPhone?
What iPhone is that?
This is an insurance phone. It's an XR. It's an XR.
Okay.
So I dropped something you might not know about me. I lose phones, break phones. Like, that's like a thing.
Oh,
like
God.
I am not a responsible phone owner. So I dropped this in the lake in Egg Harbor. Had a couple guys scuba diving down there for it, you know, trying to find it. It never turned up. And then I had to get an insurance phone overnighted. So it's an XR. Which
and you
is
still have
kicking.
it?
It's still going, yeah. And this is I got a coffee from Taza the other day.
I love Taza.
And I put it on the table, and then I put my phone down, and it's stuck, and I cannot get her.
Oh my God. That's so
I
funny.
can't get it off. This is like from 2 days ago.
I'm just over here judging you. I'm like, oh
you
no.
should judge me, honestly. But I'm like, you know what? I don't need the high-tech phone.
Camera on the new iPhone, I almost
Okay, I
hate.
see the couple now.
Okay, yeah, AD and Clay.
AD, okay.
So yeah, like I can't be mad at him because I cannot imagine saying yes, getting full ass married after only knowing someone for a month.
No, I can't either.
I would be like, yes, I want to like
you're
be
in
with
that,
you.
Honeymoon stage though, because like all these shows make it like a honeymoon. Like it's like, oh, it's great. Yeah, maybe I'll marry them. Whatever. I'll say yeah.
Yeah, but then you're like fully married. I'd be like, I want to date you for a while. Also, like, how do you know if they meet your friends one time? Like, I need to make sure that my friends like you.
Do they even meet them?
Sometimes they do. It's mostly families, but like in this season, some of them met friends. Oh, also one of the girls, so the Megan Fox girl.
Yeah, is her name Jessica?
No, what is her name? Jimmy and Megan. Megan? No, what's her name? No, because it's not Megan Fox. Is it Jessica? No, that's the other girl.
Wrong. I don't know.
Jessica is the other girl he was talking to. Jimmy and whatever, I forget her name. So he introduces her. The first people she meets are 3 of his girlfriends. Chelsea, yes. So yeah, he brings her to meet 3 of his girlfriends, which is like kind of red flaggy.
That's a bold move.
Yeah, but then I think about my single guy friends and I'm like, it wouldn't be weird to me, but then it came out.
See, I don't have any single guy friends that would automatically bring a girl to meet 3 girlfriends. It would always be the guys.
See, I just think my friend group is we're very unique in the fact that we're all actually kind of abnormally best friends.
Yeah.
Where it's like I don't think it's weird. I hang out with my guy friends like alone all the time. Like I literally just went to a movie with them.
I don't think that's weird at all.
So like I would actually be offended if one of my guy friends went on a show like that and didn't bring me, you know, because like we're so close. I'd be like, you need me to come. Then
3 is what I'm saying. 1 girl and then like 2 of the boys.
True.
You know what I mean? That's what I would think. Anyway.
True. Yeah, the fact that there were no boys. But then it came out that he had hooked up with one of the girls in the past, and then Chelsea was going on saying that she was uncomfortable about it. But then I got to thinking that some of my friends have hooked up too, and it's not weird. I guess it just depends on like the friend group.
Yeah, it definitely depends.
Or your age. I feel like when you're young.
So when I was in Bozeman, I moved here and I'm friends with like and it's mostly guys. And then there's like 2 or 3 of us girls. I find out like the entire friend group basically is hooked up.
Yes.
And I was the only one that didn't go through the friend group because I was like, no.
No.
And I was like, you boys already know it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I was like, I got there and they had all done it. And it was like, everybody's friends.
Yeah.
A couple of them gave each other chlamydia, but like,
Stop it!
Dead serious.
What?
Chlamydia went around the friend group. It was fine, you know, years before I ever got there. But
honestly, though, you know what?
Some of my best friends I've ever made, though. I'm like, yeah, I love you guys, but
that's a sign of true friendship. It's
it is,
like,
yeah.
Have you guys given each other chlamydia? Yes, okay. That's true friendship.
No, that's like actually what happened, and I was like, wait. And then like the longer I lived there, sometimes I would find out, wait, like you guys hooked up too? Like I was like, damn, like why didn't everyone tell me this? But
good old Green Bay. This is a dumb question. Chlamydia, does that just go away?
I don't know. I think you have to get a prescription.
Can men get chlamydia?
I've never had it. I will say, yeah. Oh yeah, the guys were the first ones who told me.
Oh God, there is a guy. So do you follow any of the? Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Do you follow any of those pages on Facebook that are like the F boys or like, are you dating this man?
I did join out of we were drunk one night and I joined the are we dating this man or whatever. That is like wild. I mean, I've never seen any of these men in my life, but it's so funny.
Well, half of them I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole.
No, it's like horrible. It's horrible.
It's people like posting them.
All the comments are like, did you C-cap him? And I'm like, oh.
Half the time people are like, has anyone seen this man? I'm like, literally, you're the only person I think on the planet that would touch him.
But like half the time they're like, he's from Oshkosh, like he commutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, commutes to
There is one guy on there though who's like a local guy who one of my friends actually went out with one time.
Oh no.
But he has been on there a million times, and I just saw him on there again this week that he has given like 20 girls chlamydia. That he's just like out there hooking up with people, giving people.
I am 99% sure you can get that taken care of. So if you're giving 20 girls that, then you're just not getting it taken care of.
No, and he's like lying about, I don't know, some of the stuff I read. And that's why when I was back on Bumble, I'm like, you just never know who you're talking about. What a wild conversation. We went from Love is Blind to chlamydia real quick.
No, I have never thankfully had that ever. I just know people that have, but I'm pretty sure that that's one of those you can literally go to the doctor, like an urgent care, and just get like a pill.
I don't want to go into too many details about chlamydia. I don't know enough. Is it just like itchy? Like, I don't know what it is.
I don't really know either. I think it's like an itch and a burn.
Oh, God.
An itch and a burn.
An itch and a burn.
That's how it always is,
spicy
probably.
Like that hot honey.
I guess. An itch and a burn. I think that's what it is.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know either. I mean, I had some education on this when I was in nursing school
You were in nursing school?
Yeah. But
what?
Like, I remember learning about that and like gonorrhea, like all of them, and I was
or maybe
like,
gonorrhea is what he's giving out. I don't know.
In college, so I have huge tonsils. Okay, it's just like a thing.
I don't have tonsils.
In college.
Get them taken out.
Yours taken out?
Yeah.
I wish I asked when I was like younger all the time. So I used to get like tonsillitis pretty often.
Yeah.
I don't anymore really, or get strep. But in college, I had a really bad case of tonsillitis. It like tastes like I'm like swallowing glass. So I went in college and I go in there and she like looks in my throat and it looks like strep. So it's like, you know, the nasty tonsils, whatever. And she was like, have you been tested for gonorrhea? And I was like, excuse me? I was like, do you think that? Okay, go ahead. Do the swab. Go ahead.
Test
I was
me.
like, please go ahead. And then she was like, oh yeah, it's tonsillitis. We're going to give you like amoxicillin.
You just gave off gonorrhea vibes.
And I'm like, what? Like, I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, go ahead. Do the swab. That's fine.
Wow, you can get gonorrhea in your throat?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm learning so much.
Mm-hmm.
STDs
are scary. We're clean girls on this
We're
podcast,
clean girls.
So like,
I mean,
it's scary.
I mean, I think I get tested for that every time I get like a
every time I go to the doctor, yeah. Well, no, not even like just like when you do a pee sample. We don't have to put all this on there, but yeah, when you just go and pee, that's your standard panel. It's just pee.
See, I feel like I don't know. I remember I got a clean bill for it all last year. I guess I'll have to see again this year.
You're definitely fine. Usually, like, you would know if something was wrong.
Correct. I mean, I would hope so. I would hope so
too. I'm like, I feel like you have to know.
Yeah. That is not something, because my parents listen to this. They definitely do not need to
My mom
hear.
was like, I told her and she's like, oh my God, where can I listen? I was like, I'll determine that after the podcast.
My dad listened to the Galentine's episode and was like, oh yeah, I learned a lot. I'm like, yeah, you did not need to listen to that.
Not need to listen to
yeah. But listen, that's just what life is about. I want to know, what has your dating life been like in Green Bay? How old were you when you moved here?
I was, let me think, 27.
Okay. That's like a good
26, 27, around there.
Age for the dating scene.
I went on a couple of dates before I met the person that I dated, who was my ex, who I was with so when I started dating my ex, it was like I hadn't been living here that long, and then I immediately got exposed to Door County every weekend, every Packer game, every like all of the best things that there are to
literally
do here. And then, you know, we broke up, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna have to like figure out what to do now. So that was a little bit tough.
How long did you guys date?
It was like close to a year probably. So it wasn't like, super long.
Also, how random that like you had told me about your ex, but I never knew who it was until all of a sudden he was on my Instagram story and you're like, yeah, so that's my ex, right? I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
Small world.
So that's like a little tough too because, like I'm not from here and I was like, oh my God, this is like Wisconsin. Like I'm going to Door County you know what I mean? But it's okay. I mean, every dating experience I have and new place that I experience, I feel like gives different value. So
yeah. What's the difference between, because you moved here from Montana. Mm-hmm. You grew up in Massachusetts. Yes. So, like, what is the difference in men around the country?
Oh, my God. Well, there's, like, huge differences. I will say on, like, the East Coast, most of the guys I went to high school with are, like, finance bros. That's, like, more of the industry out there. It's not as much blue collar as I would say it is in, like, Montana, Wisconsin. But also, like, I was talking to you earlier, people get married and settle down, like, a lot later out there. Then I moved to Montana, and then I was, like, where I lived specifically was a lot of transplants, so like that was a little bit different, but people are getting married to their like high school sweethearts or their church people or like whatever.
Could never be me.
People though are so much nicer. Montana, Wisconsin, like I had to get used to like, I just remember this specifically from Montana, but it also translated here. I would go to like a Starbucks and I'd be like, good morning, sunshine. Like, how's your day going? And I was like, I just want my coffee. Like, I'm like, why are you talking to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like you go to the checkout at a store and they're like, oh, it's like, what are you up to tonight?
And you're like,
and I'm literally
what?
like too stunned to speak. I'm like, why are you asking me? Like,
too stunned to speak.
Yes, literally. And then like another one is you get in an elevator and I will literally like, if I see someone walking down the hall, but like here people are like, you get in an elevator, hey, I'm not trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think dating, there's a lot more options in bigger places, obviously, but like, it's not better. People I think are more rude because there's more options.
Yeah, that's true. Dating is awful.
Yeah.
I actually just had while you were telling that story, I don't even know what it was that triggered one of the conversations we had off the podcast. And I was like, oh my God, we have to talk about that. About ex-girlfriends or like girlfriends watching your stuff on social media.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I have such a good story about that. So
I want to hear that. Because before we get into this, I have never done that. I will never do that.
Oh, I do. And it's bad.
You have done it? Okay.
Yes. I told you I have a Finstagram though.
Well, that's different though. Like, I mean, I don't have a Finsta, but I will never go watch.
Oh, no.
That's what I'm saying. So, like,
absolutely not.
Some girls will do that and they have no shame.
Oh, yeah. No.
I will never go watch the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend.
Could you imagine?
Like,
no.
I don't even like to go look at the profile. I'm like, I just don't. I don't want to know. I don't care.
No, I would never watch a girl's story because
no,
absolutely not. Okay. So this was 3 years ago, maybe at this point. So there's this guy who I grew up with. Okay. We like know a lot of the same people, whatever. So we've known each other forever. And there's always been like a flirtation there. Nothing has ever happened. And this was probably like 3 years ago. I ran into him at the sardine can of all places.
Obviously.
Good old sardine can.
We love it.
And I hadn't talked to him in like forever at this point, but like I always was like, oh, he's so cute, blah, blah, blah. And we would talk here and there. But so then after we ran into each other, then we kind of started talking. Mm-hmm. And he lives not here. So it was like, we would try to get together, whatever. He would hit me up all the time. Anytime he was like near here and like almost booty call me kind of. Yeah. And so then this was Halloween like 3 years ago. And I get a Snapchat from one of our mutual friends and it's a video of him, the guy who I was talking to, and a girlfriend. And I'm like, what? So when I message him and I text him, I'm like, do you have a girlfriend? Have you had a girlfriend this whole time? And he was like, not this whole time, but I do now. And I'm like, okay. Oh. Yeah. I'm like, well, let's not talk then. Like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. So then we stopped talking. I think I sent him a Snapchat like within the next month about something silly.
This is triggering for me.
Oh, it gets crazy. So then all of a sudden I see that this one girl is watching my Instagram stories and it's the girlfriend. Yep. And I'm like,
It always is.
Yeah. And I'm like, keep in mind, I stopped talking to him after I found out that they had started dating.
Yeah.
So she starts watching my stories every day. Every story she would watch.
Okay,
every
that's
single
a
one.
lot. I feel like normally when I see it, it's like every now and then.
No, it was
every single one.
She would search my profile every day and watch my stories every day. Then my friends and I all rented this like house, so we're all drinking all day, whatever. And I randomly go through my message requests, and I have a message.
Girlie.
It was so like, she is a lunatic. She messages me and said, I still have the message. Snapchat my boyfriend one more time and we will have a problem. He's not interested, sweetie. That's what she said to me.
But that's why like you're watching
my
all of her stories.
Yeah. And I said,
I was referring to
I said, I don't
perspective.
but thanks for the message. And she saw it, and her and him broke up, and
because of course they did.
Yeah.
You know.
But then like a year later, I run into mutual friends, and they told me that I was like triggering to her. Keep in mind, me and this guy never dated. Like,
yeah, no.
We had just known each other
like,
forever.
why is she like so obsessed with?
She was so triggered by me that they said that they were at someone's house once for like a party, and I had just released my podcast episode with Shane, who was on Love is Blind. My friend who was on Love is Blind.
Yep.
And I mentioned in that podcast one of the guys who was at that party. So my name came up. They were like, oh, did you listen to Hannah's podcast? Whatever. And this chick flipped out.
Listen to the entire thing.
Made him leave the party because she was like, we are not going to be here if they're going to be talking about her. When I didn't even do anything.
No,
like,
you did nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Oh my God, I could not.
Girls are actually crazy.
Crazy.
I've had some other stories that like don't involve the social media aspect of it.
Wait, I want to hear.
But like, well, the first one I was telling you, off pod is the new
off pod. OP.
But, which was funny. It was that this guy, I was dating him, his ex-girlfriend, they got a dog together.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden I start seeing the dog who I see every day. His name was Walker. Walker is watching my stories. So I literally texted him one day and I was like, wait, this is like so funny. Walker just keeps creeping on my stories.
Seriously.
And he was like, oh God, like, I'm sorry, like, blah, 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 whatever.
Did she think she was being conspicuous with that?
I don't, like
clearly
like
you know that
that's
with
the guy I'm dating. Like, I see the dog every day. Another one was like funny. It was that this girl who was a current like fling, I would say, was going around to a bunch of people that I know very well. Like, I'm not going to give specific circumstances, but it was in Door County.
Yeah.
And to a bunch of people I know very well, saying that she went into my ex-boyfriend's phone and blocked my number, even though I was not texting him. Like, but then I hear this from like multiple other people, and I'm like, okay, I had no problem with any of this until my name gets brought into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I'm not going to be like crazy and be like, oh, like I would never. Would you do a hey girly?
Oh,
I know. I don't think I would. Because I'm selfish, so I'm thinking about my drama.
same. Because I've
Tell
definitely.
the guy, don't involve me in this shit.
Yeah.
And I do it all the time. But like.
Yeah, and I also feel like any of my hey girlies have been.
Oh, you've done them?
No,
or
like any of like the opportunities that I've had to send the hey
yeah.
girly has been the man lying to me about what the situation was, and then I hook up with him. So then it's like, then I don't want to, because I'm going to be the victim, or I'm going to be not the victim. I'm going to be the bad guy.
Yeah. I've had quite a few situations like that, but
I've had too many.
Definitely never. It's just not something I want to do. And like, I don't know. I can't imagine. I've never gotten a hey girly before, but I can't imagine getting it.
I think my heart would drop to my ass.
Like, I don't want to be like, I don't want that drama. I don't want to be involved, because I feel like in some cases, 9 times out of 10, the girl you're DMing probably isn't even going to dump him anyway.
Absolutely not.
It's just like, you know, because they're going to be deluded enough to be like, oh, we can. So then I'm kind of just like, I don't know that I want that for myself. I've definitely thought about, I'm like, I should hey girly right now.
I could, like, right now, I could ruin at least 2 relationships with one message. Like, I could literally, but I'm not going to, because you know what? At the end of the day, I feel like the girl has to know.
Preserve your peace.
And like the girl has to know.
What people always say is like, oh, well, you know, they'll find out on their own.
Okay, so you asked me if I would send the Hey Girly text.
Yeah.
Would you want to get the Hey Girly text? If a man that you were in love with, seeing, dating.
Oh, fuck yeah, I
same.
would. Yeah, I would.
Same.
Yeah, I would. Because I would absolutely go and like ruin his day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even ruin his day. I'd probably just ghost him. Even if
I
we
would
were in
ruin
like
his
a
day.
year's relationship, I'd probably be like, this is over.
I would go on the radio and I would blast. Wait, I wanted to talk about that too with because our jobs are essentially similar, but like so different though. Because like my job is like, I talk about like my life and my personal stuff on the radio, and yours is like,
I don't.
Do you get to showcase any of that at all in the news?
Like sometimes, like, I mean, I feel like people can get like personality traits and stuff from like crosstalk and things like that, but no, because we have such a thing to stick to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's not as much. There's a lot of misconceptions about news, which I thought it would be funny to talk about because people
I want to
like,
hear.
Oh, like some of the questions we always get asked are like, oh, so you must get like hair and makeup.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wish we did. That's only like network.
Yeah.
And people always ask, for whatever reason, I don't get it, if the shows are recorded.
Really?
And I'm like, no, it's live.
Actually, people
like,
say that about us
yeah,
too.
And I'm like,
yeah.
no, it's live. I don't know why, but that's a very common one. And then like some of the other ones are like, do you like pick your stories for like the newscast? And I'm like, no.
Yeah,
like
someone else is
I
doing
just
that.
read them. Like but like it's not. And then another one, of course, misconception. Do you just sit there and read?
Yeah.
Leo.
Hi, bud.
Hi.
He's like,
And I'm like,
I heard talk
no.
about news. I want to be on the news.
Oh, look at him.
Hey, bud. Are you looking for more pepperoni? Yeah, I think one of the... Get more wine. I'll tell the misconception about radio is people ask all the time, like, number one, they ask if, and I guess it's like a valid question, they'll ask if I pick every song that I play. And that's kind of like how your guys' story is. It's like...
Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
Yeah, it's so like my boss is the one who picks all the music. So when I get in the studio, it's all set. Like I just have to get in there and talk. I do come up with everything on my own that I talk about, but also people will come in the studio and they'll be shocked that I'm just in there by myself. They just assume that I have like a producer, like a whole team of people in there. I'm like, nope.
Which I did figure you guys produce your own shows.
Yeah, just me solo. When we would do stuff with Fox 11 and we would do like stuff together and we would go on Facebook Live or we would talk on air and we would be like crazy and saying all this crazy stuff. And they were just like, oh my God, we could never. Because you guys are just more buttoned up, I guess, than radio.
Yeah. I guess I don't really know what it is. I think it's because it must have to just do with something about the face and the name.
Yeah.
Like you are visualized, but like really it's not different.
No. Maybe I guess people watch the news more for the news, where people listen to radio for music and like entertainment.
And personality.
Yeah. Where like with you guys,
a huge
it's...
reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so...
You don't really watch us for our personality.
Well, you give it to him anyway.
I give it to him anyway when I can.
You can talk about your hot honey spicy personality.
My hot honey spicy personality.
Do you... I never get nervous. Like people always ask me if I get nervous doing work stuff. I don't. No.
Not anymore. I mean, like when I first started, I would, but now it's just kind of like.
Have you ever had like a big mess up on live television? Like, have you ever said?
I'm so glad you asked.
I can't wait. Some of those bloopers are my favorite.
So I have a whole reel of bloopers on my Instagram.
Oh my God, I need to watch.
But the best one is there is a place in Montana called Bonner.
Oh no. Did you say boner?
And on air, and I knew what it was. I was like, Bonner, it's Bonner. And then I had to say it was a checkpoint station for boats coming out with like, they have to get checked for like mussels, invasive species. And I was sitting there and I called it the Boner checkpoint station. Like dead serious, like just kept going right through it. Didn't even try to correct myself. And I remember my producer in my ear being like, keep going. Don't like, just keep going.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh God, that was really bad. I've had a couple bad ones though.
Sometimes it's more funny though, because it's like
because I'm like, what? You know what? It is what. It is.
And like that everyone watching was laughing. So sometimes I almost think it's better when you just laugh along with them.
And I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. I'm like, if I didn't have bloopers, I'd be like fake.
Yeah.
Like I think it's so much funnier when you have like good.
Yeah.
ones.
Because I mean, I've had moments where I'll literally. I don't know if I've ever like said any like a bad word, but I've definitely had moments where I'll like cough or like sneeze.
Oh yeah, I'll like start choking.
Yes, I've literally choked on air, and then I'm like in the middle of a sentence, and then I turn the mic down, and I'm like trying to cough, but then everyone listening is probably like, where did she go? She was just in the middle of a sentence.
I will say I've had some where like I can't stop laughing. Like
Yeah.
I've had instances where my co-anchor like really like messes something up, and then I'll start laughing, and I like can't hide it, and then you can like hear it, and like it's just
Well, yeah, because it's real life. I just think
real
it's,
life,
yeah.
it's so funny. And I'm like, all of my like co-anchors who've been like in the business for a lot longer than I have, they'll be like, oh, I didn't even know I said that. And I'm like I'll be like, take me off. Like it's sometimes it's so funny.
I know. I've had, like when I started my radio career, I was taught if you make a mistake, just keep going.
Yep, don't even like focus on it.
If it's a mistake big enough, if it's something little that like no one else probably caught on to, I'm fine.
Most of the time they don't.
Which most of the time they don't. But if it's something big, then like obviously I'm gonna laugh about it, and I'm gonna be like, oh my God, Hannah, like learn how to speak.
And I try to like laugh about it, but then I'm like, I guess I'm not supposed to, because like, you know,
It's
don't want it
just
to seem like my job is a joke.
I know.
Right.
How did you, because you were in nursing school for 2 years, how did you decide to go on the news then?
So the reason I got into nursing school was because I was very like book smart. I was really good at math and science, and
I was not.
I thought it was like good job security, and I got into every nursing school I applied to.
Get it, girl?
And once I got to like the clinical part of it, I was just like, I'm gonna hate my life.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I got into this for the wrong reasons. I'm very cringy when it comes to like,
Yeah, you won't even go to the dentist, and you were gonna
I'm
be
so cringy. And so I was like, I need to, and I always loved sports, which is how I initially got into it.
okay.
And so I started doing that. Did a few internships in Boston, our local TV station, a couple others, and then, you know, my first MMJ job out of school was just regular news, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll take it. And then a couple months in, I started anchoring, so I was like, oh, I'll do this. Like, this is what I like to do. And then I never looked back.
I always thought that I was going to work, because I went to school for communications, and I always thought I was going to be like work PR.
Yeah.
My dream was like move to LA, and I wanted to like work for the stars and do all that stuff.
Yeah. Which would be cool. It would be really cool.
But also that would be like hate your life.
Yeah.
It's just cleaning up everyone's mess.
It doesn't matter. And I've always like said this is like how.
Hi, Leo.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something?
I think he does. Ooh, that's going to be a good one.
You'd rather just hear his purring. Tell us something. Got him.
That's going to be so good. Like, it doesn't matter how much you're making, really, to an extent.
Yeah.
If for 40 hours of the week, you hate your job, you hate your life, you hate what you're doing, I would never be happy. I am hating 8 hours of my day every day. It's not worth it.
And sitting behind a desk and just like miserable.
Yeah, no. In a cubicle, I'm like, I can't imagine that.
I had my friend Brian on a couple podcasts ago, who runs Body Boot Camp, which is the gym that I go to.
Yes.
And we were talking about that, where he was like, you know, because I asked him like, how did you start the gym? And he basically said, he's like, I do not want to have a job, Leo, where I'm sitting behind a desk all day. And I'm like, like, it doesn't matter. At least with my job, it's super freaking busy half the year, and I'm working weekends and stuff, but like I'm out doing stuff.
I just picture it. Imagine how I felt going to the dentist.
Yeah.
Like, when you think about it that way, when you're like, something you hate doing, think about doing that and feeling, because I know people who have been like, especially in news.
Oh my gosh.
Who have been like, I have like a pit in my stomach. I feel like I'm going to puke. I have so much anxiety every day going into work. Because, you know, news, radio too is tough.
Yeah.
Well, it's very superficial. And I've had friends that have felt like that, and they're like, I just can't do it anymore. And they have to stop.
Yeah. I applaud people who are able to just like up and shift their life too, because I feel like it's so hard to make a decision to like leave what you know and what you do. But shit, if you're not happy, like, life is too short.
Yeah, it is. I have that funny story that I could tell.
Oh yeah. Tell it.
So when I was living in Montana, I had a one-night stand with this guy. He was in a wedding, and the friend he was with when I met him, I don't know if he currently still is, but he ended up becoming a quarterback for the Dolphins. So
Wait,
like
what?
Two guys together. His name's Jake Lutzen.
The one night stand was the quarterback, or his friend?
His friend.
Oh, I thought it was
he played professional basketball overseas. It was like a one night stand. I was like, I would never do this again. But it was fun for the night.
Yeah.
You know?
We've all been there.
And then following him on social media, I see him being like, I'm on Love is Blind. And it was like season 3. And I was like, oh, I don't know what this is. Never watched it. I was like, whatever. Like, I don't give a shit. And so then a few weeks ago, started watching Love is Blind. Watched his season. So disappointing, though, because he was only in, like, the introductory episode.
Oh, yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah. He didn't have any connections, apparently.
He wasn't personable enough.
Not super overwhelming.
Yeah, I can definitely say I've never hooked up with someone on a reality show, though. I feel like that has to be next on my bucket list. I mean, Joey, obviously, like, we're going to get married, so, that checks out. Yeah.
I did get... This is actually funny. I have to look it up, though, because I forgot the name of the show. I got an email to my work email from a guy. Hold on. This is my work email. I wanted to, like, ask you out, like...
No, you sent this to me.
Yeah,
yes.
I was like, I did not put this on my story because I was like, I don't want anyone to know about this.
You sent it to me.
So then I'm like, he's like, I had my time on TV.
Yes.
Like, my parents just got a cat. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, ha ha ha. Like, I'm sitting at work, like... So I was like, okay, I'm gonna look it up. So I, like, looked it up. And he was on, like, it was like a virtual dating show. You're really, like, emailing me to be like, it was so bad. You know what I mean? And there was, like, a little picture at the bottom that was, like baseball portrait of him. And I looked him up and he, like, had played on, like, the Dock Spiders or something.
Yeah, I remember when you sent me that. I also looked him up and I was like, oh, no, because he's not like, I mean, you know how it is. Any email or message you get from anyone who's a fan is gross.
So that's why I'm like, of all the things you could have done, what you did.
Oh yeah.
And then I saw him at Stadium View with like a girl like a few weeks later, and I was like, oh god, I'm so glad I didn't answer him because he's gross.
Oh my god. Should you and I sign up for a dating show together?
I think maybe we should, but I would just go on there for like the drama.
Same. I would honestly just go on for the clout.
Literally, I would just go on there to be like, no, I'm just gonna f around with everyone.
Which one? So I said last week when my friend asked me that, I said out of all them, I would probably choose The Bachelor just because you get to travel, be friends with the girls.
I guess I don't watch enough of the other ones aside from The Bachelor.
Well, I know, I said the same thing. There's The Bachelor, Love is Blind, like Love Island.
I never watched Love Island, really. I guess I'd go on The Bachelor.
Yeah. You get to travel.
Yeah. And I try to see, like, as a personal, like, how far I could get.
Same. It's a competition.
Like, I mean, maybe if it was Joey, oh, God. But if it was another guy, I'd be like, oh, whatever, I'll see how far I can get.
Literally, every time you say Joey, I actually melt in my couch.
He is, like, so hot. Like, he
is literally
a beautiful man.
Perfect.
I would say that is, like, my type to a T.
Same.
And I don't really think I have a type, because I feel like every guy I've dated, now that I think about it in hindsight, I'm like, they're all very different. Joey is, like... You can't look more perfect.
No. But like Joey's literally every man I go for is like dark hair, mustache.
Okay. I don't know if I need that.
Yeah. That's kind of, I'm trying to think of, that's
last guy I dated, dark hair. Guy before him, blonde. Guy before him, dark hair, but like grungy, like skier.
Oh,
like if I look at the last 3 guys I dated, there's no type. There's no, and none of them have like really much in common at all.
I think I've hooked up with one blonde guy, but he was like dirty blonde. I think everyone I've ever been with has had dark hair.
I've had a couple blonde guys, but I was very attracted to the blonde guy, which I was
really
like shocked. Yeah, because I was like, my hair is like naturally.
Maybe I should go for a blonde guy.
I mean, he was a cutie pie. He was really tall too, though. But then, like in hindsight, I was like, we would have never. He actually is married now, and I love him. He's great. But, like, we would have never worked out. Like, when we were dating, he went on the carnivore diet. I don't eat meat. And so we went to, like, his work Christmas party, and he's giving me, like, the sides of his steak dinner.
But why would you only eat meat?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's
like, we
weird.
went out to this, like, really nice steakhouse for, like, a date night, and he got a steak and the bone marrow, and I don't eat meat, so I'm looking at it, and
He's like, hey, I want the steak, the like, chicken, Wow.
But the bone marrow, like, on the steak, I'm like, how much do you need of the
animal?
Like, you can't. You gonna eat the bone?
No.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I should go for a blonde guy. I feel like it's always,
Yeah, I think you should.
Dark haired. I do love a tattooed man. There was a guy who I had.
Okay, see, I will admit I do not like tattoos.
I don't.
That would be one thing we disagree on. I do not like tattoos at all. Friend, if he listens to this, will know this because I tell him all the time. But he's like, you just hate tattoos. And I'm like, I don't hate them. I'm just not. It's not something that
I feel like you need to like rendezvous with just one man who has like a sleeve.
I have with tattoos, yes. I just
and it wasn't
like
good?
That. It's not that it wasn't good. It's just not my personal taste.
Okay.
And like, it's not like,
but it's like
if
fun
I was
story.
like in love with someone, I wouldn't be like, oh no, because your tattoos, I can't. But like, it's just not.
You don't like gravitate towards it.
No.
Yeah.
And it would be a deterrent for sure. Like, I'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, if I just met someone, I'd be like,
yeah.
Ryan, if you're listening, I'm very sorry. But, like, love you, but, like, you know this is true.
Yeah, I had fun with, we called him Tattoo Man, actually, was his nickname. But, yeah, not like but he was dark hair, very good looking.
What's your biggest ick?
Oh, my God.
Have you
my
talked
biggest
about that on the pod?
No, I don't think I have. Oh, my God. What is my biggest ick?
I don't know
yours?
what mine is. I don't know. I have to think about that.
I'm trying to think of what my biggest ick is. I feel like this is a lame answer.
Okay.
Because it more so has to do with me. But I feel like my biggest ick would be like how the guy makes my nervous system feel. Like,
oh, yeah.
If you constantly have me like questioning something, like the second I'm starting to question.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that's always like, that's your gut.
Yeah. But then it's just like an ick.
Okay, what about like a superficial ick? Like something like funny. Like, let me think of, I gotta think of one.
Okay, this is bad because I do it a million times a day, but probably like posting selfies or like taking.
Well, yeah. That's disgusting.
Yeah. Or maybe.
What about Snapchat? Because I feel like if a guy posts Snapchat stories like all the time, that's like an ick. That's a huge ick. Or if you're like trying to communicate with me via Snapchat, that's a huge ick.
Literally the biggest red flag
it always
on
has
the planet.
Been. I didn't get Snapchat until like 4 years ago.
No, but like why do you only, and I will not call him out by name, but there is a guy that I know.
Oh, there's a reason. If they only talk to you on Snapchat, there's a very specific reason.
Yeah.
Always.
It's like, why can you not text me?
I guess I have an ick if a guy shaves their chest.
Oh,
like,
see,
I just want some chest hair. I like the chest hair.
I do like chest hair, but I don't know if it would give me the ick.
But if you could tell they shaved it.
Yeah, and it's prickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I could think of some, but they're going to be so, like, specific and, like.
But I feel like guys have icks, too. They're just not.
Flip-flops, huge ick.
Ooh,
like, flip-flops are mostly an ick for me for a guy. Girl is fine.
Yeah.
But, like, if you have, like, flip-flops that I'm like, why?
And they're, like, gross, dirty flip-flops. Yeah, I feel like those are all good icks. What's another ick? I feel like I need to start making a list.
A bunch, but like not right now. They're not coming to mind.
The Snapchat one is really good though. That
Snapchat
gives me the ick.
If you're gonna talk to me on Snapchat, no.
I had a guy who I went out with probably like 4 times. We called him Cedarburg guy. He would only talk to me on Snapchat.
Yeah, no.
And I finally called him out on it. Keep in mind, he's a father of 3 and he's like late 30s. And I literally said to him, I'm like, why are you only communicating with me on Snapchat? Like, this is so stupid. He only
wants to talk to you for one reason.
He would say that he told me it was because he didn't add girls' numbers into his phone, basically because he was talking to so many.
Nope.
I don't add numbers in my phone. So it's just, I'm like, you are literally the biggest red flag.
Nope.
No. Bye.
I thought of another one. Okay, and this is like a very specific.
You need to put your microphone by your face.
I know. This is a very specific. When guys say "prolly," Prolly, that is a huge ick for me. Also, I will say this, and this might just be like journalist. If you don't know basic spelling or grammar, like if you don't know the difference between your and your,
or there
I have a
and
major
there.
problem with that.
Yes.
Like, major. If I can see like my ex-boyfriend when we first started dating, his Instagram like profile had his name in it, and it had 2 spaces between his first and last name. And I was like, hey, like, you know, you have 2 spaces between your first and last name.
Can you fix that?
And then he fixed it, but he like little things like that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know your and your.
Yes.
Or like you don't know where to use commas, or you don't know how to say like might as well, like versus mine as well, or like escape. Like
someone has said mine as well instead of might.
I know a lot of people that say mine as well instead of might as well.
No. Yeah, no, the spelling thing gets me. Or like if a guy spells your like you are, like
like all of that.
Spell the whole word out.
Do it.
Yeah,
or certain men.
Yeah.
Who will apologize one way and spell out sorry, but then it changes to
SRY. Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh no, you can type it out. It's one more letter.
Yeah.
But you don't want to because you want to be that way.
I feel like we got to be over an hour on this bad boy. So we're going to end this soon. But I want to know, I guess we should end it in a nice note because we just told all the icks. What is your biggest...
I think it's funny.
What is your biggest green flag?
Green flag. Ooh, compassion. I would say, like, if you like, for animals especially, I would say, but like also like you can't go to a restaurant and like treat a server bad, or if you see someone else treating someone else bad, like I want you to feel bad, you know what I mean? Like, not feel bad, but be like, oh, that shouldn't be happening, you know? Like I think compassion is a very basic thing. Like I wish more people had, you know, that you could like sit there and say like, oh, they shouldn't be doing that. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be like aggressive or anything, but like especially compassion for animals and other people that, you know, you don't know what situation they're in. I think that's a huge green flag for me.
I like that.
What's yours?
I think my green flag would just be someone who is like gets along with everyone. Someone who just like walks in a room and is just like friendly and like kind of just like the person that everyone like wants to be around. I just feel like that's a green flag just because with my job, with your job, like we have to be social. So it's
and
like
people have to like you. Otherwise.
But I would love to like be with someone who can just come along with like I can walk in a room with them and I can know that they're going to be okay and that like they'll even help me you know, just like have fun, like someone who can have fun in any circumstance.
Good sense of humor too. I
need to be also
I can be very sarcastic and I'm like, if they don't get that, then it's like I might be offending them on a hourly basis.
I want to be able to have, and I feel like I've seen this in like dating profiles, I want to have like a perfect flirt to roast ratio. Like I want to be able to roast you. Like we could be mean to each other, but it's in like a fun, like, flirty way.
And it also not be like, this is the meanest thing someone's ever said to me. Cause like, I don't mean it that way. Like, it's a joke.
This goes back to, we'll end the way I started. This is why I need to fall in love with someone I already know. Cause it's hard to get that. Like, I just want to be able to joke with each other and banter.
Invisible string.
Oh my God, yes.
That's what
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's what you need, the invisible string theory.
I literally just had that conversation with someone like a week or two ago where we were talking about
I don't think any random, like, man that I don't know that I met would be it'd have to be someone I know that I've met. And that would work fine. But, like, it's not going to be someone...
someone who you know now.
Because that's the invisible string. It's like, you don't know you met them.
Like you meet and then you start talking and you're like, you were there? I was there.
Right,
like
exactly.
I
don't know about that. Maybe, well, maybe. I don't know.
Taylor Swift. She said it best. I was just going to try to sing that song and I couldn't remember how it went.
I don't even know the song. I thought
invisible
it was
string brought me to you.
I wish I knew it. I don't know that one.
You haven't listened to that song?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I thought it was a TikTok thing. I didn't know.
No, she would sing. She has a song called "Invisible String."
You can play it to close out the episode.
Green was the color of the grass I used to read at Centennial Park. I used to think I'll meet somebody there. Teal was the color of your shirt when you were 16 at the yogurt shop. Cold was the steel of my axe to grind for the boys who broke my heart, and now I send their babies presents. Isn't that funny to think about?
Oh my God.
That a man like could break your heart years ago, and then at the end you just like you weren't meant to be. So years later you could like be friendly and send his baby presents.
I feel like that's how I could be with most of the guys I've dated, except for like one. Like if it doesn't end, even if it does end poorly years later when you like realize you're not meant to be. Whatever, like that's fine.
All right. Well, this was fun. We need to do the cooking.
Yeah, we're going to do a cooking. Yep, we are.
We have to find the microphones that attach to our shirts and we're going to podcast while we cook.
Yeah.
I like
And then
it.
we'll take you our step-by-step recipe.
And then we'll probably get distracted, and then all of a sudden people will be like, we lost track of what we're supposed to be doing.
We'll put it in the comments. In the comments.
I love it. Okay, tell everyone what time they can see you on the news. 4 o'clock?
4 p.m. Monday through Friday on Channel 5.
Channel 5.
Channel 5.
Is your Instagram private or is it public?
No, it's public.
Okay, what's your Instagram? Throw it out there.
Kaitlin Corbett. KAITLINCORBETT.
Love it.
Do I sound like radio voice?
You should come on my show sometime.
I would come on.
All right, thanks, Kaitlin. I'm going to go have another piece of pizza.
I am too.
Okay, bye.